Welcome to Kaizen Time, part of the Blood, Sweat, and Business podcast, where we provide constant improvement to businesses through timely, actionable financial solutions. Do you want answers to your financial questions? Email us at bsp@kaizencpas.com. I'm your host, Mark Valesky. Now let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Kaizen Time. I'm joined by Eric Jorn, a partner here at the firm. Eric, what is today? What weekday is today?
Today's Monday.
Today, yes, we are recording on a Monday. What if I told you that you only had 3 more days of work before the weekend?
I'd feel both stressed and relaxed.
And why is that?
Somehow I can't find a way to get all my work done in 5 days. How would I make that happen in 4 days? But at the same time, having another day to rest and relax and spend quality time with people that I care about, that sounds
nice.
It sounds really nice.
Yeah, actually, to already get off of the subject that we're talking about, I find it really nice to take Wednesdays off. It's like my preferred day off. Because Monday is usually really heavy work day, right?
Yeah.
Like everything kind of came down that wasn't done on Friday.
Yeah.
So I feel like I should be there. So Mondays and Tuesdays are really work heavy. Thursdays, there's a lot of prep and stuff that needs to get done in the weekend. And Friday, I actually like to be there because I feel like it's a relaxed day.
Yeah.
But Wednesday really breaks up the 5-day work week.
It does.
Right? So a 4-day work week does sound cool.
It does.
Right? Let's go over some pros and cons of that.
Yeah.
Besides the obvious stuff that we just covered.
Yep.
Is there any, because I like saying the word credible, research behind that?
There's been a lot of research and this subject's very polarizing because there's been probably credible research that comes from both angles.
Mm-hmm. Probably just as similar as the work remote, right?
100%.
Tons of research on that. What's credible?
What's actually credible? And I think the question of this, can this work for your business, is the exact same question we talked about with the return to office mandates, right? Does this fit your business, right? Is your business, I don't think there's a blanket statement. I don't think we can go across the world and say, you can only be open 4 days a week. Oh wait, you can have 4-day work weeks with still being open multiple days too. So is it one set process, right? And there's a multitude of this. Is this 4/10s?
Mm-hmm.
Is this 32 hours?
Mm-hmm.
Do we close one day so we're only open 4 days? Are we still open 5 days? Or are we open 7 days and we have multiple shifts of people, right? Every business can be structured differently. You could have, in theory, you could have plenty of businesses that operate 7 days a week with 32-hour work weeks for their employees, right? It doesn't mean you're working every day if you're open 7 days a week. So, so many variables to actually really factor in this process.
Right. And the 4-day work week is nothing new. It's been kicked around. I know it's been kicked around in America for like 10 years. I've heard about it for a while.
Yeah.
But other countries have fully implemented it, fully embraced it. It's a thing. To them, a 5-day work week is a lot of overtime.
It is. And one of the reasons why we decided to chat about this, we're seeing this in Main Street businesses. Say we work with a ton of auto repair shops, and we're seeing auto repair shops now adopting 4-day work weeks, which is, one of those fields where you'd say, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Because people need to be tangibly working on things.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that. But at the same time, you were just mentioning like, hey, businesses that are open 5 days a week, that doesn't wholly just mean the employees have to be there 5 days. They can work different shifts. And I know we've had this discussion before. Hey, what if they work 10 days, and then, hey, they're coming in earlier, staying late. And they just make sure everything's taken care of. And then, hey, one only does Monday through Thursday, another guy does Tuesdays through Fridays.
Yeah.
Some people maybe work on weekends instead to just make up hours. Yes, people are only bringing in their cars Monday through Friday. It doesn't mean that the entire facility is shut down during that time.
Yeah. And what I'll say is based on, we'll call this unscientific data, right? This is
incredible.
These are via discussions that are had inside of in the automotive repair industry. Again, still the discussions are very polarizing, right? There are people who say 7 days, some people that say 4 days. And that span is pretty polarizing, but the overwhelming majority of people that have implemented 4 days, at least that are willing to share that, have not responded with, oh, you know what, we decided to add the 5th day back. No, they've actually all said our productivity, our employee morale, and everything is actually up. And people are making more money instead of less money.
So let's kind of get into that. Not necessarily the implementing and saying this is absolutely what we're doing, but maybe just talk about kind of the testing, how the dipping of the toes, you could say, works.
Yeah. Yeah. So first you need to look at your business, right? Do I have the people to be, or you have to look at the business in a multitude of ways, right? Does my business require me to be, say, open to the public? Meaning somebody can walk in, call in, reach me at any point in time, and I need to be responsive immediately. Is that a need? If that is a yes, does it need to be 5 days? Does it need to be 6 days? Does it need to be 7 days? Can it be 4 days? You have to answer that question. And then you have to ask, do I have the team that I can maintain that while also scheduling shorter shifts? Meaning, if I want to have a 4-day work week, but I have business needs to be open 5 days, do I have enough people on my team to have a staggered schedule where I can have shift A, shift B? You know, maybe this person has Mondays off and this person has Fridays off, but we still cover the full work week. Does that work? Is it better from a momentum standpoint? Do we have work that is momentous? Meaning, I need to work on things more consecutively. And the continually working on one thing helps aid us in efficiency. Whereas the disruptions in having extra days off will actually cause worse effects. Now you might have a strong argument that, hey, if I work 4 days that way through 10-hour days, that might actually be more momentum. Mm-hmm. Is my work too physically exhausting to work 4 tens? Or mentally exhausting to work 4 tens and stay productive? There is an argument that you drop off productivity pretty dramatically, I think about after 6 hours of work.
Well, and to even add to that, it depends on the industry. In the wedding industry, for example, it's not unheard of to work doubles or triples.
Yeah.
But the overwhelming consensus is by the time you get to the 3rd one, your brain isn't even there and you're in some level of autopilot.
Yep.
So you lose something there.
Yeah.
Are you physically doing the work? Yes, you are totally doing it.
Yep.
So again, it's very different. But again, the flexibility is there. I mean, if you can tell your employees, okay, well, again, we'll focus on like auto shops, Monday through Friday. You said, hey, I got a 4-day work week option. And between you and let's say you got a team of 8 other guys, okay?
Yep.
And you say, every one of you just figure out what day that you're going to be there. We need coverage.
Yep.
So let's say maybe 2 people get off. That's a huge benefit. Hey, I have a doctor's appointment. I don't have to take a day off work. I don't have to take a vacation day.
Yeah.
Right? Or you say, hey, I want to schedule a longer weekend. I want to take a Friday off this week. I want to take a Monday off this time. Yep. And if you're planning and scheduling stuff out, that is a huge benefit.
Yeah. Well, in tons of shops that we work with, they're scheduled out 2 weeks, a month, maybe even more. Well, if you're scheduled that far out, if you have one less day available where somebody can bring their vehicle in, does that really materially does that change your business? Probably not, right? Because you could probably still take in the same exact amount of cars in that time period. There's a theory of Parkinson's law, right? We'll expand the work to the time that we have available.
You know, I've heard something like that because it's similar. Because I've heard it's when they expand a highway and they add more lanes, it doesn't actually change anything because more people just get on it then.
Yeah, well, this goes back to the book Profit First with Mike Michalowicz, and he talks about this, and he uses the tube of toothpaste, right? When you open your first, the brand new roll of toothpaste, you might put on, maybe a whole inch of toothpaste onto your toothbrush. But man, when you're down to that last bit, all of a sudden you're squeezing just enough out just to say I got a little toothpaste on my toothbrush, right? And that's because it's a natural human tendency to utilize the resources that are available to us.
I want to pause this and let you know I am not human, because I use exactly the same amount of toothpaste no matter the situation.
How do you do that?
How do I do it?
Yeah.
I have a very specific method for squeezing. It is both pressure and time calculated. Wow. I have perfected it over the decades of my life. But it's the same. But I mean,
same principle.
It is the same principle. But once you have, figured out a certain number, right, and you feel comfortable and you have it all practiced out, I think once you've refined things, you're gold.
Yeah.
Right. So getting back to this whole scheduling for the 4-day work week, it's no different to me than that tube of toothpaste.
No.
You figure out what works. If the numbers, again, we're big on data driven, right?
Yep.
If those numbers work, what's the matter?
Yeah. And you got to also think about it. What business do you want to build, right? If you want to build a big volume-based business, probably not the right strategy for you. Mm-hmm. If you're trying to build a quality of life business, and everybody's quality of life is different, right? Maybe some people love what they do and they have the constant fire and energy to be that 7-day-a-week business, but quite a few want quality of life businesses, and it might be a quality of life business decision then to be open only 4 days a week.
And that makes perfect sense. And I think you really nailed it. That is the business owner's decision. What do I want to do with my business? How do I want to grow it?
Yep.
Because if you just want to make the biggest number in your balance sheet at the end of the day, then just crank it out. Get as many people in there, work as hard as you can. But, you're also going to, not only are you going to burn out employees, you're going to burn yourself out too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What else do we want to talk about as we wrap up the 4-day work week?
Yeah. We like to mention other podcasts. And again, there's this really good one around measuring your remote workers' productivity. And again, using those principles, this isn't a remote conversation, but this is a conversation around measurement. And if you can measure your employees in the way that we talked about on that podcast, here's another application for why we measure people's performance, why training systems and processes are so important, because those are actually the keys to actually executing things like this and creating more freedom for your team.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Eric.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Kaizen Time, part of the Blood, Sweat, and Business podcast. If you like what you heard, subscribe and leave a 5-star review. This podcast has been brought to you by Kaizen CPAs Plus Advisors, providing advisory and accounting services to help you grow your business. Learn more at kaizencpas.com or email us at bsb@kaizencpas.com.